Hello and welcome to Math 212 Brief Calculus. I am Professor David Dwork and I'm just going to walk you through setting up your class and getting you enrolled in the class. Now, you are right here in Canvas watching this first video and we're going to set up our MathAS account. But I'm going to ask you to please come back here after we're done with that and watch the rest of these videos. They are going to walk you through each aspect of the course and all the important information related to it. But then, once you have watched these videos, we are never going to come back to Canvas. So please do not message me in Canvas. Please do not come and try to ask questions in Canvas. Please, everything through MathAS after today. So click the button right here that says Link to MathAS, and that should open up MathAS for you. Now, again, your system is probably not going to autofill a username. If this red marking is at the top of the page, follow the directions. If it is no longer there, it's another semester, then we're going to go ahead and start down here. And if you are a new student, you're going to click here and just register as a new student. You're going to enter a username, choose a password. The requirements for the password are 12 characters, uppercase, lowercase, numeric. Just follow the rules. You have to have one of each, so at least one of each. So make sure you use one of the special characters from this list, and so on. Okay, so go ahead and take care of that. Now, for me, I am not a new student, so I am going to log in using, there we go, my student ID. I'm going to log in. Now, you'll notice once you're logged in, you may have classes here if you've been in the system before, but we need to enroll in our class, the new class. So we're going to click Enroll in a Class, in a new class. And we need a course ID and enrollment key. That was sitting right here. So I'm going to cheat and get this split screen for me. There we go. For you do it however you want, but please do not use what I'm typing in here. Use what is written on your Canvas page because it may not be the same. This is for spring 2018. If it is not that semester, please don't type this in. You'll be signing up for the wrong class. Use the course ID and enrollment key listed in Canvas. So we're going to click Sign Up. Okay, and now I have been enrolled in the class. So when I return to the main page, you should now see over here the classes you're taking. You should see the appropriate class for your semester. So when I go ahead and click into that, it'll bring me into the class, and we're going to talk about the main layout super fast. Now, the first box you'll see is called announcements. In here every week I am going to post a little message to you, and sometimes I do embed videos like this one. You'll notice it's going to YouTube. The key here is, do you see this little plus sign? If you click it, it'll open the video. It's been embedded into the class, so you don't actually have to click out to YouTube and have that whole other window open. You can watch it right in here. Then after you read my message, you'll notice there's a to-do list for each week. This is going to give you everything that you should be doing, and if you do all of it, you're good. You're fine. That you know you've completed all the tasks I want you to do this week. You can also look at a calendar down below, and you have some ability to edit. So right now I have it set to a 6-week view, but you can make it a 2-week view, for example, which isn't very interesting because there's nothing due yet. So we'll go to 3-week view. There we go. Now you can click on the assignment and have it bring you straight into the assignments, but I would rather show you down here. The next bar is called the syllabus, written homework, solutions, etc. This area here is for all the things that are general for the entire class, not one specific section, not one specific lesson, but everything. So in here, I'm going to use OneNote. You'll notice you'll have your link to OneNote. So if you click on this, it'll open up the web browser version of OneNote. The syllabus, right? You kind of need that, so that's where you'll find the syllabus. Answers to book problems. So part of your homework every week is to do homework problems in MathAS, but also to do homework problems out of the book. In here, you'll find selected answers. So for section 2.1, here's the answer to problem number 1, 5, 7, and you'll notice these answers are not just a number. Usually they are a description, they are a step-by-step how to do it, and so on and so forth. So please don't forget that those are there. Next, if there's ever a helpful video that's not related to one section but a concept that will be used throughout the entire course, and a student asks about it, this is where I'll put those, and I'll direct your attention to it whenever I post something new. Then let's get to a chapter. So chapter 1 is review. I'm going to skip it. It's not graded. It's just there for you to review. So chapter 2, you will notice there's a syllabus acknowledgement quiz, and then it gets broken down by section, section 2.1, 2.2, and so on. So we'll open up 2.1. There's always the objectives for the week, the link to the textbook. So you'll notice this is your textbook. It's downloadable. It's PDF format. So you are able to print it. You're able to not print it, read it on your screen. And if you would like a full hard, and not hardcover, but bound version of the book, if you go to lulu.com and you type in my name, Dwork, there are 2 books here. Do not buy that one. Business Calculus, that is ours. The the price on it is should be anywhere. It should be relatively inexpensive. It is a paperback, but shipping can take about 2 weeks. But the good news is, up until then, you have access to print it yourself until it gets there. So long story short, when I say do the problems out of the book, you'll notice this is not like a normal typical textbook. It's not filled with 50 problems. It's filled with 8. Um, so the expectation is you are going to do the book problems, all of the book problems. And if you need an answer checked, ask me. And when students ask, I will either look at if it's one problem you need me to look at, I'll usually fire back at you. If you need me to look at the entire things, sometimes I fire back with you with a complete answer key. So you can check yourself and then let me know on a specific problem you need help on. But nonetheless, please do that work. Then you'll notice for each textbook section, there's also notes. Now the notes are intended for you to fill out. How would you go about filling them out? Well, the very next section is videos. And when I click the little button to show the video, hey, look at that. That looks a lot like the notes. So the idea here is you print the notes and then you fill them out. And then in the OneNote section is where I talk about how you're going to upload them to me and get credit for filling out those notes. Every once in a while, a student will ask me if they don't have to print the notes, if they can just fill them out by hand. I say, absolutely, but they better be complete. You can't just write down what you feel is important. You need to actually do the problems with me and demonstrate you're actually doing the notes. Okay. Then down here, this is the problems coded into MathAS. These are the problems for you to do. And you'll notice they are, again, not tremendous. There's 6 of them. So, when you think about the entire section of 2.1, that was what, 8 book problems, 6 MathAS problems. We're all good mathematicians. We know that's 14 problems. So it's not a tremendous amount of work to do all of it. But note, every week we are doing more than one section, but 9 hours a week at minimum for this class, so it should be very manageable in that time frame. So that's the basic overview of MathAS. This is how each section is going to be laid out. I just want to also show you at the very bottom, you'll notice there are textbook links for the entire chapter. So if you, instead of wanting to download 2.1, then 2.2, you want the whole thing, well, you can grab chapter 2 and chapter 3. Last but not least, the gradebook is over here on the left-hand side. When you click into it, you'll see I'm not doing very well in the class right now. But don't let the categories confuse you here. Just ignore the past due, and attempted, and available. All we're going to look at is just the past due by itself. This is essentially your grade, because that means the assignments, you're no longer allowed to work on them. Your grade and those are locked in. So just, there you go. And note, default is homework. Test and quizzes is test and quizzes. And then as the other categories pop in, they'll show in here. So there is that. Last but not least, the log out button. There are issues sometimes with students who share a computer with other people who use MathAS, and I'll show you here. MathAS does not automatically log you out. So if I close all my windows except for one and I go back to MathAS, I'm still logged in. So it is very important that you log out so that way somebody else can't get into your work and just avoid other problems. So I hope this helped you, and please go back to Canvas now and watch the rest of the videos.